right in the beginning, I will say कि थोड़ा सा disclaimer है, and right in the beginning, I will say that we have to recognize parenting is challenging. जो आपने अभी बात करी है, it is a challenging uh, situation that we are in, or the new phase of our life. And as we go along, हम सीखते हैं. We all are learning. So there is nothing known as good parenting. So that's the disclaimer. So ये हमने जरूर लिखा था what is good parenting. There is no concept of good parenting. You're learning as you're going along. You're broadening yourself. आप अपने आप को expand कर रहे हो as a soul being when you are with another soul. So that's what you're doing. So I will move on to the, like, or if on your screens you can see, if parenthood came with a GPS, mostly we would say it's recalculating. Yes, because हम कितनी बारी मतलब अपने भटक कर कभी गलत कर लिया, कभी सही कर लिया, कभी कहाँ चले गए. We all are trying very hard, and I will give all the parents good marks for that, right? So yes, we want the best for our children at the end of the day. So before I roll out everything, एक quote है Khalil Gibran का. That's the next slide, which is very, very important. So, Nitish, the next slide, please. So, in this is a very Khalil Gibran. I don't know how many of you read, but बहुत बचपन में मैंने ये quote पढ़ा था at one point. Your children are not your children. They come through you, but they are not from you. So, though they are with you, they do not belong to you. तो जब मैं ये छोटी थी और मैंने ये पढ़ा था, I was in my adolescence at that time. I was very happy. I was like, wow, finally, my parents have no control over me. I have my own life. बहुत अच्छा लगा मुझे उसमें. But later on, जब मेरे खुद के बच्चे हुए और ये lines तो बिल्कुल ही they were like, how can this be possible? कि my children come through me and do not belong to me. उनका एक cell मेरे को belong करता है. I've given birth to them, I've nurtured them, I've woken up at night, I've given up my life, and I've come on to this new life now. एक चीज, एक पल, एक सांस लेना उनके साथ मैंने लिया है. अब ये क्या मतलब हुआ कि they do not belong to me? But of course, the reality is that they do not belong to us. That you come to know as they start growing. We don't own them. We have chosen them. We've chosen to have them with us. We've wanted this whole experience, but to say कि claim लगाना कि ये हमारे हैं और हमने एक चीज इनके लिए decide करनी है, not at all. That will never happen, because बच्चों की खुद की एक unique identity है, जैसे आपकी है, आपकी खुद की एक unique identity है. As a child, your child always wants to be independent, wants to have their own identity, wants to play their own part in the world. Just like when I read this जब मैं छोटी थी, I was so happy. I was like, वाह, मेरी जिंदगी मेरी खुद की हो. We wanted our own identity. So just like that, your children want to know who they are. That's what they've come. They are here. They have pure potential. So they will not be able to recognize their pure potential if we sort of control them. If we make them do things the way we want them to do, everything, every step of the way. If we navigate their life for them, तो फिर उनके लिए क्या रह गया? कुछ भी नहीं. So इसी के साथ I want to come to this another thought which I've come across, a new term which is called.
Nimrit, just excuse me, you're not well audible. थोड़ा सा loudly, or maybe if you're using your earphones, तो बिना earphones के directly.
Okay.
I think you don't use them because that is causing some disturbance maybe.
Now is this better?
This is better, yeah. Yeah.
So okay, I'm going to the new new term which is coined, which is called parental narcissism. अब narcissism क्या है? वो है एक disorder है actually. It is being very selfish. अब totally जब आप selfish होते हो ना, अपने के लिए ही सोचते हो हर time, उसको हम कहते हैं narcissistic behavior. And uske liye, of course, you need therapy and stuff like that, and we recognize narcissists amongst us, but to some level it's healthy also. जिसको कहते हैं हम अपने लिए प्यार करना, self love. Please do be selfish to love anybody else. If you are not selfish for your own self, that means अगर आप parenting के दौरान अपने लिए time नहीं निकालोगे, तो you will not be able to love. आपका circle of love नहीं बढ़ेगा. to your children, to your family, to people, then you'll get irritated every now and then. आप थक जाओगे, आप चीखोगे, चलाओगे, कभी थप्पड़ मारोगे, कभी कुछ करोगे, because आपने अपने आप को ही प्यार करना भूल गए कहीं. You are stretching yourself too much. So taking out, आजकल बहुत ये सुन रहे हैं सब जगह, please love yourself, self love. What is self love? That means other than taking out time, do not criticize yourself. कभी कभी गलती हो जाती है, it's okay. If you allow yourself to make mistakes, you will allow your children to make mistakes. Yeah, so that is okay to a point, but there is this narcissism which is there in parenting, which is controlled parenting, जहां पर हम अपने बच्चों को सोचने नहीं देते. We are in total control. We want to decide कौन से subjects लेंगे, क्या choose करेंगे, क्या बनेंगे, क्या आगे उन्होंने जाना है, कितना वो खा सकते हैं, कितना नहीं कर सकते, कितना वो खेल सकते हैं, कौन से friend के साथ जा रहे हैं. We want to control everything because as human beings we are egoistical people and we want to actually control everything. That is us. वो है ही हम ऐसे. So that is called narcissistic behavior because somewhere when you're going to control everything, आपने उनकी light dim कर दी बच्चे की. You're not letting him be the individual. You own them. That feeling has to go away as they start growing up. If we begin to see them as who they are, not as who you want them to see, because then if you see them as who they are, it's great. But if you're going to see them how you want to see them, it's a big disservice to them. You know, because इनके जो चीजें होंगी वो आपको शायद पसंद ही ना आए. Because these days children have born with a different energy. They are amazing kids that are coming out. उनके पास इतना डर नहीं है. आपके पास डर बहुत है, तो आपको कंट्रोल करना अच्छा लगता है कि इस बैंडविड्थ से आगे बढ़ जाए तो मैं क्या करूंगी? How will I control it? I have no control. I don't know what my child wants. You're nervous to let them go explore. As a soul, we want to know who we are. We are curious. We want to see the world. So we cannot stop our children from seeing or expressing themselves as who they are, right? So with that we move, like expectations that we have. आप खुद एक बारी बच्चे हो, so you know what expectations your parents had from you. So you have expectations from your children. You want them to be effective. You want them to work hard. You want them कि ये fail ना हो कभी, ये deliver करें, ये ऐसे होए, अच्छे बच्चे बने. These are expectations. और हमारे पर भी एक्सपेक्टेशंस है एज पेरेंट्स कि आपने काम भी करना है, आपकी पर्सनल लाइफ भी होगी, आपने अपने पेरेंट्स को आपने अपने बच्चों को एक स्किल भी सिखाना है, उसके बाद आपने खाना भी अच्छा देना है, हेल्दी खाना एकदम परफेक्ट बच्चों के सामने वो भी करना है. सो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ एक्सपेक्टेशंस. इनफैक्ट आपके एक्सपेक्टेशंस है इस सेशन से भी कि यहाँ पर हम आपको कुछ बताएंगे और वो मैजिक टिप्स आपके पास आ जाएंगे, सो यू विल बी एबल टू move, you'll be able to learn something from here and आप फिर वो ट्रांसफर कर दोगे अपने बच्चों के ऊपर कि हाँ इस तरह से मैंने उस सेशन में सीखा था. So just like expectations, I was also one of those mothers who was when I was young, when मेरे बच्चे छोटे थे, so I was this mother who was a full-time journalist. I loved my work. I wanted to be a friend also, a very good friend. I also wanted to be this perfect daughter and of course the mother, the super mom. I had everything in control. So I had an image about myself. वो मेरे साथ था जब मैं when I was raising my kids. So this one time, my daughter, she was young. I can't remember, maybe 5-6 years old, and she had put nail polish on her fingers. तो मैंने इतना ध्यान नहीं दिया था. I was like, चल ठीक है, like not to say I'm very nail polish. I was not one of those mothers, but children are curious. So पड़ी होगी उसने डाली, and she also told me कि मेरे को when I go to school, I'm not allowed. So I was like, okay, remove it. And as I was this mother who was everywhere doing many jobs, मैंने वो इतना ध्यान नहीं दिया होगा उस टाइम. अगले दिन मैंने उसको स्कूल छोड़ना था, तो when I was going out of the door, I realized कि इसके nail polish उतरी नहीं थी, and I was very angry. I was disappointed. I was angry, and I told her, and I yelled at her, and मैंने उसके गुस्से से मैंने उसको बोला कि I am so frustrated, and मतलब कुछ भी कहो ये होता नहीं है, and I just yelled at her, and at that moment I knew I had shamed that child. तो वो गाड़ी में पीछे बैठी थी, चुप, कुछ बोली नहीं पूरे रास्ते. पीछे बैठे ना, वो खरोच रही थी अपने नाखून से अपने नेल पॉलिश. and she went to school and she went inside and she hid अपनी मुट्ठी बंद कर ली थी and she put her fist in her pocket and she walked in because she was ashamed to show her fingers. And I felt horrible that I could do this to this poor child. You know, when I saw that scene, now she's डर गई थी वो. So we do these things to children. We feel disappointed, we yell, and at that moment I also realized when I felt bad, I was like, it was not that I'm feeling bad that she's put nail polish. She's not the problem. The problem was me. कि मेरे पास वक्त नहीं मुझे मिला कि मैं इसकी नेल पॉलिश निकाल दूं. And somewhere that image ke, oh, she's a good mother, isko pata hai ki ye bhi kar legi, she comes with all those credentials. I was disappointing myself. So, you know, we come to this next point कि हम बच्चों को कैसे सिखाते हैं. How do children learn? Because when they are small, we have a lot of expectations from them that they should be perfect. You know, they should be perfect children. They have to get these very good grades. They have to be everywhere. Kindergarten में ही आजकल, you know, because my son and my daughter have a little bit of a gap. जब तक मेरी लड़की गई थी into kindergarten, वो इतना कुछ सीख रही थी जो मेरे बेटे ने अभी तक सीखा नहीं था. And why not? You know, all these things are available. We want kids to be super smart. They should be learning. They should be there. इनके हमें पता है कि अब हमें जितना हम पढ़ते हैं कि you know, you can teach the children from 0 to 3 years because इनके इतने neuro connections हो रहे हैं every second, and we want to put everything in the child as soon as we can. And then later on, scientists say that when you stress the children too much, they're exposed to chronic stress. Later, they have mental problems, they have anxiety, they have depression, they have mood disorders, they have disease. All this comes in because because there was just too much of pressure when they were young. We were just not giving them any time to do anything else. So there's another study which says that children learn best when the task at hand is not too much. The task at hand should not be a goal that is unachievable, कि बहुत मुश्किल है, and इतना आसान भी नहीं होना चाहिए. It should be that zone where the child feels कि हाँ ये achievable है, ये मैं कर सकती हूँ, या I can do this. So in that zone, ये zone हम कैसे पकड़ें? ये वाला जो जगह है जहाँ पर हमने जाना है, ये हम कैसे आए? I remember another story that when I was a young child, I was raised, मैं farm में raised हुई थी, and my mother was very outdoor. She was activity driven. तो हमारी बहुत सारी games बाहर होती थी, hide and seek, treasure hunt, कुछ ना कुछ, you know, she was a very active person. And winters का time था एक बारी, and there was this whole thing कि हम भागेंगे. We were going to jog to a point. So I was young, I was small, and jogging for me to a point must have been unachievable at that time. But my mother ran, वो आगे चले गए थे. मेरा भाई मुझसे बड़ा है, तो वो भी मुझको छोड़ के आगे काफी चला गया था. एक point पर चला गया था where I couldn't see where they were. And मैं पीछे भाग रही थी, and my father was with me. So up to a point मैं भागी, and then I stopped because my legs were tiny. I don't think I could have run anymore. I just got tired. And what my father did, he picked me up, अपने shoulders पर डाला और भागे मेरे साथ, मेरे को लेकर. And we reached there, and I was very happy that ये goal achieve हुआ है. And to date, I feel very motivated. आज भी मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि that story is with me. I remember that. और ये चीजें हम अपने बच्चों को देना चाहते हैं. Good memories. So what is it? You want them to, you want to be kind and generous. कि you want to criticize, because what he could have also done was he could have made me run. He could have told me how useless and please run, but he chose just to say nothing, pick me up and ran. So whether we criticize or are we kind and gentle? Do children feel loved or do we make them feel bad? So these are the things that one focuses on while you're doing tasks with them. How much can they do? How little can they do? And how much is okay? How much I will help? These things these memories is what you give children, the feeling that they are left with. और ये चीज जो हमें चाहिए, happiness. All children want happiness, is a parent's desire. I want my child to be happy. चाहे वो अमीर हो, चाहे वो गरीब हो, everybody wants कि हमारे बच्चे को खुशी चाहिए, because हम डरते हैं failure से, हम डरते हैं डिसअपॉइंटमेंट से, सो हम एंशियस रहते हैं कि हमारा बच्चा हर टाइम खुश रहे. नाउ आप सोचो कि ये मुमकिन है? दैट मीन्स ऑल द टाइम यू हैव टू मेक योर चाइल्ड फील गुड. हाउ इज दैट इवन पॉसिबल? बिकॉज कभी ना कभी आपका बच्चा रिजेक्ट होकर आएगा, उसके फ्रेंड्स उसको नहीं मानते, वो कहेंगे कि आज यू नो लाइक this friend was not my friend today, especially when they are in school. All these issues come up. So what are you going to do then? Tell them कि नहीं आप fit in हो जाओ और उसको आपके friend को accept करो? It's not possible. You will have to say it's okay. It is inevitable. Rejection आएगी ही तुम्हारी जिंदगी में. But that does not mean कि आपका self worth नीचे गिर जाए कि आपका friend नहीं है. This is the way life is. It is to be experienced. You have to experience every life. That's how you get resilience in your life, right? So ये parenting का जो term आया है, ये अभी ही है. This was not there during my parents' time when I was being raised. Maybe it came up in the 1970s. Maybe I don't know. Not in the Indian society at least. नहीं था. तो हम सब ऐसे ही पल गए. In fact, हमें किसी ने हमें बोला नहीं था कि अपने emotions को process करो. ये healthy है. We didn't know what emotions really meant, what like feeling bad and all that. इतना नहीं पता था हमें. हमारे parents को भी हम ऐसे मतलब पढ़ गए. They were sensitive but not really, like there was not so much जितना आज है. आजकल time बदला हुआ है. Everybody has to deal with emotions because यही जब हम बड़े होते हैं, जब आप rejected feel करते हो, when you grow up and you have not fulfilled or your आपके emotions वहीं रह गए, वहीं पर problem आती है. We are trying to sort that out कि आपके childhood में क्या हुआ. All the time. It also leads to disease. When you fall sick, what were you feeling when you were small? How did you process it? तो तब क्या हुआ? नहीं इतनी बड़ी बात नहीं थी, ऐसे ही था. So I'll just break it down and tell you, especially for boys, हमारी society में, because emotions gender specific नहीं है कि ये लड़के को होता है, ये लड़की को होता है. It's not like that. A boy will feel bad, but we do not give them the space to feel bad. We do not let them cry. कि यार ये कौन सी लड़की वाली बात कर दी. So when you do that, the boys who become men become very aggressive, and there's a lot of anger because उन्होंने कभी उनको आता ही नहीं है कि अपने emotions को कैसे deal करें. And like that, you will not be able to do it for your children when they are small. If the child is crying, irrespective of gender, you will give them, allow them to let them cry for that bit. And children normally bounce back very fast. करके अपना वो होकर they moved on. You have to allow a safe place for them to feel. Similarly, ये emotion सिर्फ लड़कियों के लिए थोड़ा है. Because then it's very silly कि सिर्फ लड़कियों को ये सब feelings होती हैं. Then we are doing disservice to both, to the boys and to the girls. It's if you allow everybody to feel, then you have very loving partners, you have very good fathers, you have compassion in this world which is not there. So like Dr. Shweta said, in fact we have this whole pregnancy program where हम बहुत ध्यान देते हैं on the role of the mother, the role of the father. There's a whole detail. I'm not going to go into so many details, we don't have the time. I'm just giving you pointers here, but it's a beautiful program, the Soulful Pregnancy. जो करना सारे को करना ही चाहिए. There's no way that you cannot do that. It's very important. It opens your emotions out a lot, so you're ready when the child comes in. And always remember that you cannot fix everything. So when your child comes home, and it's very very painful, बहुत दुख लगता है कि आपका बच्चा आता है and you know, and he or she, their friends have left them. It's so painful for a parent to go through because you want to fix it. You feel like ये तो मैं आके इसको मैं ठीक ही कर दूंगी. It is because I've also been through that. I was very very upset when my daughter's friends left her and she had no friend in our class for some time. And there's nothing you can do actually. You let the child go through that pain. It's very important. Do not jump in to try and make that pain go away. वो एकदम healthy नहीं है. वो कुछ सॉल्व भी नहीं करता. बिकॉज जब आप पेरेंटिंग करोगे, एज मच एज पॉसिबल आप रिएक्शन मत दो उसको प्रोसेस करने दो, बिकॉज दैट इज दैट सोल्स एक्सपीरियंस. यू कांट टेक इट अवे. यू हैव टू लेट द चाइल्ड गो थ्रू दैट पेन ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग. और आप सिर्फ यही कह सकते हो, आई एम वेरी सॉरी आपको ये फीलिंग आ रही है, बट मैं आपके साथ हूँ. I am for you. That is what you can do. Empathy is important. वो resilience build करता है. और कोई भी emotion गलत नहीं है. There's no छोटा से छोटा, जैसे छोटा kindergarten का बच्चा गया, उसका किसी ने टॉय छीन लिया और आप बोलोगे यार ऐसे रोने की क्या बात है, इतनी छोटी सी बात थी. आपके लिए छोटी सी बात थी, उसके लिए नहीं है. You let them process that feeling of feeling bad that somebody's taken something away. It's okay. Yes, it's a small thing for you, but for that child, it's a big emotion he's going through. So it's okay. Let them feel bad. You give them that space, because that way they learn to be authentic and genuine. And then they'll bounce back. This small little problem will turn into something else, but they already know how to deal with it. So these are important to embrace. Embrace every emotion that that child is feeling. It's okay. And you just allow them to feel. You don't have to say something. हम हर टाइम हमारा ये होता है कि हम बस इस सिचुएशन को सेव कर लें. इसको मैं कैसे ना कैसे चुप करा लूं. Half the time that's not required. जरूरत ही नहीं होती. You let the child be for some time. वो रो लेगा, खो रहा होगा. अब understanding आप not करो, उसके साथ रहो. Understand it and they bounced back. They are okay with it. और दूसरों को हर टाइम ब्लेम करना कि ये सिचुएशन हुई बिकॉज उस बंदे ने ये किया मेरे बच्चे के साथ, या वो चीज हुई थी तो मेरा बच्चे को ये तकलीफ हुई है. यू कांट डू दैट. ये विक्टिमहुड मेंटालिटी आ जाती है. हम आधे टाइम फिर बड़े होके यही थेरेपी से करते हैं दैट यू आर डूइंग, इट्स एन एक्सपीरियंस. एवरीबडी इज ऑन दैट कॉन्शियस जर्नी. तो कभी ना कहीं हमें उनको बताना पड़ेगा कि उस बंदे की ये कॉन्शियसनेस लेवल होगी. It's okay. This is the situation that you came across. It's fine. So, you don't always have to jump in and blame everybody else. It's just explaining to them that the situation has come in. Maybe that person needs, that person is coming from a different thought. That's why this has happened. So this way it helps them to develop compassion for another person, or also for confidence se ho jate hain, right? Very important to communicate. You have to communicate with children. Jitna aap communicate kar sakte ho utna hi acha rahega, because then when it comes to teenage and adolescent, you are not like, I don't know what my child is doing. Please listen to them. Half the time children only want to be heard. Abhi just yesterday I had this huge crisis. The child has gone into panic attack, and what came out was the child was never heard by the parents. Parents never took him seriously, and today he's under chronic panic, like medication. Neuro cells in his brain have moved out. So just listen to them. They are adults. They are individuals. They might not have that much of experience, but everything that they're going through is important, and you need to know what is happening. You need to feel what they're going through. You need to be there for them, right? So this is critical in so when you are communicating and the child has the confidence to talk to you, because बहुत बारी बच्चों ने ना कुछ छुपाना होता है. उनको डर लगता है कि मेरे पेरेंट्स ये ठीक सही नहीं है. So they tell lies, white lies, छोटे से झूठ बोल रही है, so that my parent doesn't feel bad, or I'm on the right side of the parents. So parents are very important in a child's life, and sometimes they have to, and they feel bad that they have to lie to their parents, So you don't need to go all the way there with them कि ये झूठ भी बोले, फिर बुरा भी इनको लगे, गिल्टी भी हो. थोड़ा सा कम्युनिकेशन फ्लो रखो. इतना अलाउ करो कि इतना तो मेरा बच्चा करेगा, because वो आपको ही देख के कर रहा है सब कुछ. So you have to be as honest with your own self. अपने आप से honesty दिखो. Because when you are consciously parenting, now this is not my word, this is Dr. Shefali Tebari. Apparently she's coined the word conscious parenting, but we put our own sense to it, and we are saying कि ये जब हम consciously parent कर रहे हैं, तो जब भी हम अपने बच्चे में misbehavior देखते हैं या कोई ना कोई dysfunction देखते हैं, वो हमारे ऊपर ही आता है. What are we feeling? Okay, which in other words, like in case I am slapping my child, or I'm manipulating my child, or if I'm compensating my child, it is what am I feeling of my own self that I'm manifesting it in so many ways. For example, मुझे डर लग रहा है कि मेरे बच्चे को should not feel that he's unloved. So मैं क्या कर रही हूँ? Because I'm scared of that emotion of that, oh my God, there's a feeling that he's not being loved, because मेरे बचपन में I had this feeling. तो हम ज्यादा प्लीज करते हैं अपने बच्चों को. We don't know how to create a boundary. We overdo it. और जहां पर मुझे डर लगता है कि अगर मैं ये चीज बंद कर दूं, मेरा बच्चा मुझे वापस लड़ाई करेगा, तो मुझे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट नहीं चाहिए. सो आई एम स्केर्ड ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट, सो आई लेट माई चाइल्ड डू वट एवर दे वांट टू डू. दे वॉक ऑल ओवर मी. Even if I keep saying yes to everything and I actually want to say no, and I'm just saying yes so that that I just be the perfect parent, even that is your fear. All these are your fears, so they are like little mirrors in front of you, and they're just showing you how are you going to be. अगर आप बचपन में आपके बहुत डरे हुए हो अपने पेरेंट्स के साथ, आपके पेरेंट्स ने आपको थप्पड़ थप्पड़ लगाए हैं बहुत बारी जस्ट टू शेप यू, आपके पेरेंट्स के एक्सपेक्टेशंस थे. अब इस उम्र में I mean we can't blame them. We're not going to resent them. My parents did this and my parents did that. That is, they did the best they could do. And you are carrying your own emotional baggage because of the way you were raised. जब आप इस सिचुएशन में आते, जब आपके बच्चे आपको पुश करते हैं to take action, then you calm down and you think कि अब मैं क्या करूं? Shall I slap this child like I was slapped? Because very often we do that. जो हमारे बचपन में हुआ है हम वही करते हैं. Or am I going to now just relax and see my situation and be calm? Being calm with your children is very, very important. वो anxiety निकल जाती है. So of course, in our last session, Dr. Sachin has said, please take out time for meditation. This much is your routine. If you can do that, it is very nice. But it is not very easy to do it. I mean, all the time to sit down. I know I have had trouble to sit down for 10 minutes also to meditate. But it makes you clear your head. And you can think rationally of how to go about it. For example, like you're talking about, हम discipline नहीं कर सकते अपने बच्चों को. So you need boundaries. हमें discipline नहीं चाहिए. हमें 3 चीजें चाहिए. वो है बहुत ही साफ, बहुत ही consistent और बहुत ही compassionate boundary. That means I am very clear. जो अगर मैं फ्लिप फ्लॉप करूं, कभी हाँ कर दी, अच्छा चलो कर लो, फिर नहीं तुमने क्यों किया, या एक पेरेंट कह रहा हाँ कर लो, दूसरा पेरेंट कह रहा नहीं करो, इसमें बहुत कंफ्यूजन हो जाएगी और बच्चे ये फट फट उठाते हैं और दे यूज इट अगेंस्ट यू. They're very good, they're very smart, so don't think that they're not. They're smarter than you are because they already know who you are. वो आपके फीलिंग्स को तो वैसे ही वो समझ लेते हैं, बोलने की जरूरत ही नहीं होती है. They feel and they do. So you have to, there's certain timing, there's certain things which are non-negotiable. जैसे अपने अपना कमरा टाइडी करना है, आपका स्क्रीन टाइम इतना ही है, आपको इतना सोना है, ये खाना खाना पड़ेगा. If these are non-negotiable time, non-negotiable boundaries, like I say, like अगर ये है, ये करना ही है, then अपने आप से भी पूछो कि आप कभी ना कभी lack करते हो discipline में. Like what are you? Are you sometimes binge watching TV? Because if you are, then your child is also doing it. So then don't complain. When your child is with you, how much are you on the phone? You can't keep saying ये काम है, बहुत जरूरी है, मैंने ये करना है. The child is smart. He knows कि वाह ये डिवाइस तो बहुत अच्छी है, इसके साथ में बैठ के खेल लो. अब मैं ये कर लेता हूँ, अब मैं गेम खेलता रहूंगा because it's addictive. And you have also been doing that yourself. And जब छोटे थे, जब खाना नहीं खाते थे, आप सबने उनके सामने स्क्रीन रख दिया है कि ये देख लो फिर, because it's very difficult to be all the time with the child. I understand that. I mean, जब मेरे बच्चे छोटे थे तो मैंने भी बहुत सारी चीजें एक्सपेरिमेंट की थी. उस टाइम ये बुक आई थी एंड वी रेड सो मच अबाउट इट कि बच्चों को टाइम आउट दे दो. अगर वो मिसबिहेव करते हैं उनको टाइम दे दो कि दूसरे कमरे में चले जाएं, वहां पर अपना जब वो ठीक हो जाएंगे तब वो आ जाएं. तो मैंने बहुत टाइम आउट दिया. जब मुझे समझ नहीं आती थी मैं क्या करूं, तो मैं उनको बोल देती थी प्लीज गो टू अनदर रूम and cry over there and then come back. That's called lazy parenting. Why have I got my child in that mess in the first place? And you should never isolate the child. The child feels abandoned at once. It's a feeling of abandonment. My mother didn't like what I'm doing and now she's just told me to go away. So when the child is very young, so you can't do all of that. What you can do is probably just make a very effective systems for them. For example, अगर खाने के ऊपर बहुत तंगी हो रही है, they want to eat chocolate and not eat food. So you obviously you say खाना खा लो फिर chocolate खा लेना. And आप भी ये देखो कि आप भी ये कर रहे हो कि नहीं. Are you doing the same things? Are you also not eating healthy food yourself before you expect them to eat all of that? And if the child is crying and saying, no, I want the chocolate, I want to eat one more chocolate, so you say, you know what, kal after lunch I'll give you this chocolate. So somewhere in the brain it's like, okay, I have a limit, they will cry and then will calm down saying, acha kal ko mil jayega mujhe. So you have to see what is it that my child wants from that need, from the question itself, from what they're misbehaving on. वहीं से निकल जाएगा आपके आंसर, आधे answers. Yeah, so you have to be a little firm, because if you're firm with yourself, you respect yourself for that. अपने आप को ही रिस्पेक्ट करोगे जब आप अपने आपकी लाइफ में थोड़ी फर्मनेस है, आपके घर में थोड़ा डिसिप्लिन इन द सेंस कोई रूटीन चल रहा है. चिल्ड्रन लव रूटीन. So if you can instill it, in the sense if they see you doing it, in all likelihood they will be doing it. If they're teenagers, because now they want to discover themselves, they will try and push boundaries. It's very natural. They have to push those boundaries because here they are on a total self-discovery path. They want to recognize who they are, but with a little guidance, and they've already seen the order of the house कि वो इस तरह चलता है. बड़े होके in all likelihood they're going to be doing exactly that. और आप भी कहीं ना कहीं वो रेजिस्टेंस छोड़ दो कि हर टाइम मैंने उनको पकड़ कर ही ये करवाना है. How much do you really want to fight it? Is it really worth the fight? Or are you going to let them be a little messy sometimes? If they are a little messy, sometimes even you've been a little messy. You know, if the things are not as it should be. If screen time is going beyond, because आजकल है ही सब कुछ screen में. आजकल तो with this COVID lockdown, all online sessions are also on it. So you have to ask yourself that question: how much is okay? And you have to have that conversation with the child by saying, okay, so many hours, is that good enough for you? And what else are you doing? If you want them to read, have you read a book? If you haven't read a book, तो वो कहाँ से पढ़ेंगे? So, you know, if you want them to do gardening, do you do gardening? So you have to, you want your house to be prim, proper, nothing to be fallen. So how are they going to paint? So certain boundaries you yourself have to let go of, because it's a children's house. Let it be a child's house. Let them experiment a little bit. Let them discover. That's what they want. They don't want neat, clean homes and perfect bed. That's not really childhood, is it? I mean, ask yourself these questions. Okay, and free your children from the need of your approval. कि मेरी मम्मी खुश होंगी अगर मैं ये करूं. Because let me tell you, children are awakened beings. They're already in an awakened state when they've come. So it's very important for a parent, especially like when we are saying conscious parenting, it's very, very critical that your child is in touch with who they are, with their deepest self. Because when they are in touch with who they are, you don't have to do much to motivate them. कुछ करना नहीं पड़ेगा, वो खुद ही कुछ ना कुछ करेंगे on their journey, because they know who they are. You don't even need to do that too much. You just let them be. That means you let go of a few struggles. कि ये पहनने हैं, ऐसे कपड़े पहनने हैं. I remember when my child was young and I used to be always pulling out their clothes. And then there was a time when I let go of that. And I was like, अच्छा अपने कपड़े खुद choose करो. And this child picks up बेढंग के, ना मुंह ना सिर, पता नहीं क्या ऊपर पहना क्या नीचे पहना. According to me, it was not. And बाल भी पता नहीं किस तरह के थे. But I just let her be. I was like, ठीक है यार, let them enjoy themselves and experience who they are. It's very, very important for them to get to that feeling and that choice of, you know, of recognizing and empowering them, and appreciating them, of just being who they are. They don't have to fit in the type which you want them to fit, because you've always put yourself in some bucket, in some box, in something. कुछ चीजें छोड़ देनी पड़ेगी. You have to let go of a few struggles. खाना ऐसा ही खाना है, ऐसा ही खाना है, यही सब्जियां खाएंगे, यही दाल खाओगे, यही खाओगे. नहीं खा रहा बच्चा, let go of it. How much are you going to struggle? Because I have done it all. I have force-fed my child, I've begged my child, I've done like everything possible, till finally my child went to her friend's house. वहां पर उसने भिंडी खा ली, वापस आई कहती मैंने तो भिंडी खानी है. And I was like, wow. So you know, few things they'll discover with their friends, with the people who where they go to different houses. वहां पर अपने बच्चों के साथ दूसरे बच्चों को देख देख के वो खाने लगे. दूसरे बच्चों को देख देख कर ही उन्होंने पिज्जा भी शुरू किया है. in all likelihood वो भी हुआ है, and suddenly it's very cool to have pizza, or या उसका taste बहुत अच्छा है, but do have a normal conversation with them and tell them कि इसमें processed food ज़्यादा है, आपके लिए healthy नहीं है, इसलिए हम कहते हैं, पर जब आप खा रहे हो please enjoy it. So once a week, if they're eating pizza and they enjoy it so much, let them. It's the age, it's the time. They will do it. They'll outgrow it. You don't have to worry too much about these things as long as the basic parameters are fine. Yeah. आपके बच्चों को आपसे क्या चाहिए? आपको लगता है आपके बच्चों को आपसे चाहिए, let's say gadgets, expensive books, या watches, या कहीं पर अच्छी सी जगह में छुट्टी जाना, कोई अच्छी सी यूनिवर्सिटी में एडमिशन लेना, क्या चाहिए आपके बच्चों को? You know, because your child actually yearns, and definitely that soul has a very deep meaning. If you go deeper, it does not involve branded clothes and branded electronics and the wow car the child is sitting in. वो तुम आपकी ख्वाहिशें हैं. Normally we want all this as adults and we want to show off and हमारा ego को अच्छा लगता है. But basically the children want to know whether they are seen, whether they are worthy. Does your child matter? These are the three things which I'm going to leave you with, which is what the child wants. He needs to be recognized. The child has to have self-worth in it, and the child matters. You have to give them that confidence. When the child feels all these things, when they grow up, they have a very, very empowered life. And that is what you constantly reflect on every day. So that's why parenting is challenging. Every day it's a challenge कि हम अपने बच्चों को आज क्या आज ये, because it's like a mirror in front of you. शीशे की तरह हैं बच्चे आपके सामने. Every day it's a new day for them, for you, and you grow with them. वो आपको सिखा रहे हैं, because वो शीशा दिखा रहे हैं आपको, जो आपके अंदर आपके बचपन की बातें छुपी हुई हैं, वो आप उनको heal कर रहे हो as you're going along and raising another child. Yeah, so I'm going to leave you with that, and we will ask Dr. Shaveta to give us a few inputs on trust and bonding.